avoid the news break coming in. In fact, this is proof of how Rahul Gandhi, the LOP in Lok Sabha, led the sloganeering and heckling on the floor of the House when Prime Minister Modi was speaking. In fact, that is the visual on your screens. We'll even increase the audio and hear out how Rahul Gandhi led the opposition to the well of the House while Prime Minister was addressing and delivering motion of thanks in the Lok Sabha. Let's go across first to Abhishek Kapoor, who's joining us on the phone line. Abhishek, this is clear proof of how Rahul Gandhi led the protest inside the House. Disgraceful to see this, say the least, how Rahul Gandhi is seen instructing the MPs to troop to the well of the House.
Well, yes, absolutely. So if you look at it, when Rahul Gandhi made that address, 90 minutes of his speech, and apart from some fact-checking that was done by ministers or had to be done by ministers because Rahul Gandhi was taking some liberties with facts, as the Treasury benches say, he was allowed to complete his speech and without disruptions. But look at the manner in which the opposition really conducted itself yesterday when the Prime Minister made his reply to the debate on the motion of... You can see in these pictures Rahul Gandhi. He's egging on the MPs. He's instructing them to go troop down to the well of the House. In fact, look at, there are pictures which clearly show that these are pictures where Rahul Gandhi is actually asking Gaurav Gogoi, for example, to come out of the benches and go to the well of the House. And subsequently, we saw for the entire 135 minutes that the Prime Minister spoke, the opposition MPs were there in the well protesting, sloganeering, shouting, disrupting, ruckus, chaos, pandemonium, but not letting the House in order. The Prime Minister, of course, continued to speak over the din and not only completed his address, but in fact bettered his record of last year when he had spoken for 131 minutes. But I think these pictures are important because last evening the Lok Sabha passed a resolution condemning the conduct of the opposition, particularly the leader of opposition, by naming and shaming, as it happens, which is seen as a very serious matter in the parliamentary convention, that if you are named and shamed, this is taken seriously. And for the Lok Sabha to pass a resolution naming and shaming Rahul Gandhi for his conduct, the reason was these pictures which clearly show him protesting, and that's fine. Protest is absolutely legitimate. Dissent is absolutely integral to the functioning of democracy and, of course, Parliament. But then the manner in which he's egging on the MPs to come to the well of the House, the manner in which he's asking them to continue shouting and increase the level of decibels, I think these pictures really buttress the argument on the side of the Treasury benches that while the courtesy was extended to Rahul Gandhi to let him speak without disruptions except for fact check, the same was not extended by opposition, and a good measure of the reason is that Rahul Gandhi himself was leading from the front in terms of making those opposition MPs increase their decibel levels, increase their shouting and sloganeering, and even to troop down to the well of the House.
Abhishek, stay with us. In fact, also to tell our viewers again, this is the video proof of how Rahul Gandhi, LOP, is seen egging MPs to protest inside the House. He's seen guiding the MPs to the well of the House. In fact, let's try and pull the audio up and take a closer look at how Rahul Gandhi led the MPs to storm the well of the House and disrupt the Prime Minister's address in the Lok Sabha. All right, there seems to be a problem. We'll try and see if we can get the audio also. But yes, there was absolute commotion and ruckus on the floor of the House while Prime Minister delivered his address. Let's go across to Abhishek Kapoor again, our senior executive editor. Abhishek, requesting you to keep talking to us. Once again, if you can take us through exactly what happened yesterday, because Prime Minister, despite all the sloganeering and heckling, continued with his strong speech in the Lok Sabha yesterday.
So there is a reason, Samiksha, that these pictures are important, and the reason this is the same opposition which talks about freedom of expression at the drop of a hat. This is the same opposition which talks about throttling and not letting the opposition speak at the first instance, and sort of tries to build a narrative that this is a dictatorial government, that this is against dissent. But look at the manner in which last 2 days have panned out in the Parliament. Rahul Gandhi was allowed to speak. Each and every opposition MP was allowed to speak for the allotted time that came in their share as per their numbers and as per the decision of their respective leaders of the Parliament. Now, look at one specific demand that opposition was making, that let the Manipur MP speak. even as Prime Minister, it was Prime Minister's turn. Now, the fact of the matter is that one Manipur MP, the two that have come from the Congress party, one Manipur MP has spoken, and insofar as who gets to speak, it's the party that decides. It's not the speaker who decides that from whichever party who's going to be fielded as a speaker. So it was the decision of the opposition to field that particular MP, and he got his time and share to speak, and he did make an address. And now for the opposition to be disrupting Prime Minister's address and the manner in which Rahul Gandhi is leading from the front and not letting the Prime Minister speak, though of course Prime Minister did complete his address speaking over the din, but it was unbecoming of the decorum that is generally expected when these kind of debates happen. Remember, this is a motion of thanks debate happening, and the debate becomes part of the records of Parliament, of history making. In fact, these are the debates where the nuances, the facts of Indian democracy is seen by not just people across the country but around the world. And in that backdrop, for the opposition to be conducting itself in the manner in which they have done, these pictures clearly show that Rahul Gandhi did not really bother about convention, about decency, about procedure, about convention, and even their own ideas of respecting if somebody is speaking with something which was a courtesy which was extended to Rahul Gandhi because the Treasury benches followed the procedure, followed the convention, but that was not reciprocated. So in a way, these pictures are evidence of how the opposition conducted itself over the last 2 days, and particularly when the Prime Minister was speaking. Not the first time they have done it. In fact, over the last few years, if you see, Prime Minister has had to speak over the din and complete his addresses, and because he's also understood that this is obstructionism, this is filibuster of opposition. So in a way, in a dare, he has not only completed his speeches, he has increased the length of those speeches that he makes. 131 minutes last time, 135 minutes, bettering his own record of last time this year. So in a way, he's also sending across a message that he's not carved down by these intimidatory tactics of opposition. And remember, while the narrative is being built that opposition is the victim, here it so happens that if you look at these pictures, you realize that opposition is not the victim. Opposition is not scared of anything. Opposition is not needing any bhai mudra or abhay mudra, but opposition is dictating really the proceedings in Parliament, overruling the speaker, not listening to the speaker, and not following any convention when it comes to these kind of debates in Parliament.